A dream trip to the Maldives. Emma is a 35-year-old woman. She works in an office in a big city. She wakes up early every morning, takes the bus to work, and spends many hours at her desk. She answers emails, talks to clients, and writes reports. She likes her job, but she feels tired. She dreams of a beautiful vacation. She wants to go somewhere warm, with blue water and white sand. One day, she looks at pictures of the Maldives on her phone. The water is clear, the sky is blue, and the beaches look peaceful. She decides that she wants to visit the Maldives. But the trip is expensive, so she saves money for a long time. She does not eat in restaurants. She does not buy new clothes. She works extra hours. After 1 year, she finally has enough money for her dream trip. She feels excited. She books a flight and a hotel. She reads about the Maldives. She buys a new swimsuit and a big hat. She packs her suitcase carefully. She puts in her clothes, sunscreen, sunglasses, and a book to read on the beach. The day of her trip arrives. Emma wakes up very early. She takes a taxi to the airport. She carries her passport and ticket. She stands in line to check in. She gives her suitcase to the airline staff. She walks through security. She waits at the gate for her flight. Many people are at the airport. Some people drink coffee. Some people sleep. Some people talk on their phones. Emma sits and watches the planes outside the window. She feels excited, but also a little nervous. This is her first time traveling alone. She hears an announcement. It is time to board the plane. She walks to the airplane and finds her seat. She sits next to a friendly woman. The woman smiles and says, "Hello." Emma talks with her. The woman also goes to the Maldives for a holiday. The plane takes off. Emma looks out the window and sees the city get smaller. She feels happy. The flight is long, but Emma enjoys it. She listens to music. She reads her book. She eats a small meal on the plane. She drinks water. After some hours, she looks out the window again. Now she sees the ocean. The plane lands at the airport in the Maldives. Emma gets off the plane. She walks to the baggage claim and finds her suitcase. She feels the warm air on her skin. She takes a deep breath. She feels happy. She follows the signs to the speedboat area. A hotel worker waits for her with a sign that has her name on it. She smiles and follows the worker. She gets on a speedboat with other travelers. The boat moves fast over the clear blue water. Emma looks down and sees fish swimming under the boat. The wind feels nice on her face. The sun is bright. After some time, the boat stops at a small island. Emma steps onto the dock. She looks around. The island is beautiful. The sand is white. The water is turquoise. Palm trees move in the wind. She hears the sound of the waves. She smiles. Emma walks to the hotel. A friendly worker gives her a key and shows her the room. The room is over the water. She looks out the window and sees the ocean everywhere. She takes off her shoes and walks onto the balcony. The air is warm. The water is calm. She sits on a chair and listens to the sound of the waves. She feels relaxed. She unpacks her suitcase and puts on her swimsuit. She walks to the beach. The sand is soft under her feet. She feels the sun on her skin. She walks to the water and puts her feet in. The water is warm and clear. She sees small fish swimming near her toes. She laughs. She walks deeper into the water and swims. She floats on her back and looks at the sky. She feels peaceful. Later, she walks to a small beach cafe. She orders a coconut drink. The worker cuts open a fresh coconut and gives it to her. She drinks from the coconut with a straw. The juice is sweet and fresh. She sits at a table and watches the ocean. She eats a tropical fruit salad with mango, pineapple, and papaya. She enjoys the taste. She feels happy. After lunch, she decides to go snorkeling. She rents a mask and fins. A guide takes her on a small boat to a reef. She puts on her mask and jumps into the water. She looks under the surface and sees colorful fish. She sees a big turtle swimming slowly. She follows it for a few minutes. She feels like she is in another world. The water is quiet. The fish move in all directions. She feels amazed. In the evening, Emma walks on the beach. The sky is orange and pink. The sun goes down. The air is cool. She takes pictures of the sunset. She feels lucky to be here. She decides to have dinner at a special restaurant on the beach. The tables are outside, and there are candles. She eats grilled fish and rice. The food is delicious. She hears soft music. She watches the waves. She feels peaceful. After dinner, she walks back to her room. She sits on her balcony. The sky is dark now, but the stars are bright. She looks at the ocean. Suddenly, she sees something magical. The water glows blue. It is bioluminescent plankton. It looks like tiny lights in the water. She watches for a long time. She feels like she is in a dream. The next day, Emma wakes up early. She eats breakfast. She drinks fresh juice and eats toast with jam. She decides to take a boat trip to another island. She visits a small fishing village. She meets local people. They smile and say hello. She buys small souvenirs. She sees children playing in the sand. She takes pictures. She feels happy. In the afternoon, she swims again. She lays in a hammock and reads her book. She takes a nap. She enjoys every moment. But in the evening, something bad happens. Emma walks on the beach and takes pictures. She puts her phone in her pocket. She plays in the water. When she walks back to her hotel, she checks her pocket. Her phone is not there. She feels scared. She looks around, but she does not see it. She asks the hotel staff for help. A worker smiles and says, "Don't worry, we will find it." The worker walks with her to the beach. They look near the water. The worker sees something shiny. It is Emma's phone. She feels so happy. She thanks the worker. On her last day, Emma feels a little sad. She does not want to leave. She takes more pictures. She sits on the beach and watches the waves. She buys some gifts for her family. She says goodbye to the island. She takes the speedboat back to the airport. She looks at the water one last time. She gets on the plane. She flies back home. She arrives in her city. She feels different. She feels relaxed. She feels confident. She tells her family and friends about the trip. She shows them pictures. She smiles. She says, "One day I will go back."